You look good, you have all of the something they bought you. Yes, goodie!
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Good Girl Podcast, and I have Mr. Claus.
One Ganja.
So you have become so popular. I feel like you are one of those people who really blew up since possibly like last year into the social media space, and it's really just been based on your honesty. And I feel like when I was reaching out to you, I said that you see a lot of people with the same story, but I feel like you're the only male I see in this space talking about from a uptown perspective, quote unquote, right? Or like has a different experience growing up. Because you always hear about the struggle, but you've been very honest and also in a comical way.
I have to say, for some strange reason,
Yeah.
a lot of uptown people are embarrassed and ashamed of the fact that they grew up wealthy. And that their parents provided for them and that they had certain luxuries growing up. And I'm trying my best not to seem like I'm showing off it or I live such a better life than people. Because at the end of the day, it's just my reality.
Yeah.
There's nothing I can change about it.
Yeah.
So I might as well just be honest.
Yeah. No, but I think that, because for example, right, and I can use like even just growing up, I feel like people loved like a Paris Hilton because they were just true to themselves. I think the problem is when you're from a certain background and you act another way. So if you were like super uptown and then you're acting like you come from the trenches, and people would have a problem. I think once you're being yourself, and I think that is what, made it.
Yeah, authenticity is 100%. And you see, you can't fake energy.
Yeah.
So a lot of people they'll watch my videos and I see some outrageous things. Like I literally said, I got my job from nepotism.
Yeah.
Which is not true, but it sounds better.
It sounds better.
Funnier.
Dramatic effects.
Yeah, it sounds more dramatic.
But before we even get into that, like, can you take me through, some pivotal moments that led you to your unique journey, like, or how you decided? Because basically you say, oh, you're good, so you don't need to do the social media thing. So why was that like? Well, what did you? Because you always joke and say you're trying to be an influencer.
Trying to get the hype on forward. But I've always been a funny person.
Yeah.
I've always been the class clown. Regularly, I get kicked out of class for talking too much or running jokes. So I've always enjoyed making people laugh, making people feel better. And I have to say, I used to make videos on Snapchat just to my personal friends.
Yeah.
And I guess they were funny. A lot of people thought they were funny.
Yeah.
One girl just sat me down and she said, "Yo, you're wasting your potential. You need to just make a TikTok and just start post." So, you have to remain anonymous for now, but you know who you are. Anyways, she got me into it.
Yeah.
The first video, I didn't even have notifications on TikTok. One day, I just looked on it. After 3 days, I had 5,000 views.
Oh, wow.
I didn't share this.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody, follow Ganja cause.
Yeah.
It just took off on itself. So all the fuckery videos I take on Snapchat and post on my story, I just put on TikTok.
Yeah.
And one day, I remember saying how I'm wasting my accent. I should really be a scammer. I had a US accent. I had a British accent. I had and that video randomly got 50,000 views. Just so.
Off of just the rip.
And
crazy.
To this day, I don't share it on any of my private pages.
Yeah.
I don't even post my name. Right now, if you type in my actual name in my comments, it's blocked.
Yeah.
It won't even come up.
So you're just going by Mr. Claus for now?
One Ganja until
okay.
The time is
all
right.
And, makes sense.
Have the review.
Okay.
But,
okay. So, is there like a specific message that you're trying, or it's just like you feeling out the space, seeing if you like it, or is there like a specific thing that you're trying to achieve with social media?
So the way that I see it is traditional media, the radio, TV, movies, that format in terms of creating celebrities and influential people is basically dead.
Yeah.
Social media is really where the majority of humans are investing their time and attention. If you look at kids my niece is 9 or 10 and she's been on TikTok. The kids have access to social media and are on social media from around 9 and 10 to right up to my boss my old boss is 65 or somewhere around that age. We don't even know how old the man is. And he's on everything, So you can look into that and all of
Yeah.
those people, you have their attention. It's like being a nowadays movie star. So what I really want to do is eventually develop a platform where I can start making some money out of this.
Okay. Yeah. Naturally, you want to
I
earn.
never had any interest of getting attention or likes or. I get attention naturally. You know? I didn't need it.
Yeah, he's really tall. I was shocked. Like, I was like, the first thing I said to him was like, "Whoa, you are taller than I expected. Like, you're actually really tall." And I'm a tall girl. I'm like 5'7", right, or considerably a tall girl. So yeah, you're taller in person.
I like to lie online and say I'm 5'9", but
Yeah.
truthfully I'm 6'6".
Okay.
I like to lie. You know? But I will be honest on the good part.
All right, thank you. We appreciate it. Now, let's get into some of your Uptown experiences. So you're very open about, your affluent background, and that kind of sets your content apart. So what I noticed is that, so like me, but upon like the side, so like I always say to people, my dad grew me like rich people picnic, right? So he may not have been super rich, but there was nothing I missed out on. But then my mom is just very like middle class, but more upper middle class, very normal. So I went to prep school, all of that, but I feel like there are levels to it, right? And I understand that there are levels to it, and there's certain people that you grow up with, all of that, blah blah blah, right? So there's levels to it, and we'll get into that. But I just want to know, why are you? Because I feel like it's a very hush thing.
Yeah.
And it's not something that's spoken about. So why were you so open to?
Well, one of the main.
And have you gotten backlash?
That's another. One of the main reasons I guess people are very hush about it and don't like to talk about it is because you're opening up yourself for people to target you.
Okay, fair.
People don't like seeing people show off money, especially when it's because they were slave owners and they did crime or corruption.
Yeah.
A lot of Uptown people, not necessarily that they're hiding anything.
Yeah.
But there is a stigma towards showing off wealth and affluence and just being open about it. But I didn't know honestly that I was wealthy. It didn't really come into my mind until maybe I was 10 or 12, and it really started to sink in. Like, oh, this is not only that this isn't how regular people live, but that's kind of weird that. I grew up at the polo club, and we always have horses. My dad.
So tell me about that before you, not even to cut you, but just tell me about like your different. Because we were having a conversation before, so I want to know, like, you said you've been to like so many schools. Like, what was your like educational journey? In comparison, you were a bad.
So I nearly got. I went to Hillel prep first. Hillel.
Okay, Hillel, and that is a very expensive private school for those who don't know.
It's a school in the middle of Cherry Gardens.
Literally, yeah. Okay.
But I nearly got kicked out of the prep school.
Wow. Okay.
And then so I wasn't gonna go to Hillel High. That didn't work out. Thankfully, I was a little bit bright, so I passed for Campion.
Okay.
Did my 2 years there. I really thought I was gonna finish there, but I did the video on that. My grades weren't too spectacular. So.
But in Spectacular and Campion, book is different.
Imagine getting an 80 and being last in your class.
That is Campion. Yeah, no.
We're very ashamed.
Oh, wow.
Ended up going to AISK because I had some...
And that's another very private Uptown school. Okay, cool.
Yeah. And then I did my time there. I thought I was going to follow through there and think too, but then my parents were like, no, you're going bad again. So I went to boarding school in England.
Boarding school in England.
Boarding school in England in a place called where did I go to school? In a place called Whitley.
And that makes sense with the accents, right? That makes sense because you were actually like.
I've lived overseas. I've lived in England for a few years.
So right now you're first star in a Top Boy.
You see, if they wanted to have an authentic,
British Jamaican. All right.
But Top Boy, I don't think they're done production, so
we never know. We never know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, fair. So you've had all of that schooling, all of that, right? And then you said about polo and all of that. So you've been into like horses, all of that.
My family loves horses. I'm the 4th generation horse trainer in my family, so it's something I've always been a part of. When I left the hospital when I was born, the first place I went to, which was very irresponsible of my dad, the first place I went to was the stable. And there's like a picture of me in the same blanket I'd be in and my grandpa on a horse. So I've always,
Been in the horse
I love
business.
him a lot. I wanted to be a jockey. That was actually my dream, and that dream died when I turned 10.
Why?
I weighed too much.
Oh, they need to be
They have
okay.
to weigh less than 120 pounds.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
And I was like 150.
Yeah.
So I got fucked.
So in terms of the like growing up around horses, all of that, and then the people that you grew up around, because I feel like when you're connected to the uptown kind of thing, you see the same faces. I feel like you have lots of the similar experience. A lot of the friends I've had is friends that I've had since I was like super young. Like, or even if you don't know them, you may know a face and then you become close later in life or all of that. Do you find that, your experience is different? Do you have friends who are from like other backgrounds, or like all of your friends like super uptown? Like, what is the
Honestly,
around you?
I've had the same core friend group since I've been literally 1 year old. Like we moved into the same complex all at the same time, me and 3 other guys, and we lived in the same complexes until we were maybe 10 or 11, and those are basically my best friends.
Yeah.
And my other best friends also, I've known them since I was 9, 10.
Yeah.
I'm 25 now.
25. Okay. Yeah.
I went to UA. I went to UA as well. I got a management degree from there.
Oh, nice.
I didn't graduate, but I studied for a management degree.
Okay.
But I met. That's where I kind of, because at Campion, yes, you have access. You do meet people who are from not always a privileged background. You have a lot of children that achieve from all aspects of life. But at Campion, I mean, Campion is more. It's not really stratified in terms of how much money you have or your social background. It's more your degrees of being a nerd. You know what I mean? At Campion, if you had good social skills, you were friends
with everybody. Everybody. Okay.
When I was in first and second form, I would hang out with the third and fourth formers.
Okay.
So it's really just how cool you were. But at UA, I did meet more on a personal level people from other backgrounds. But when you're an uptown person as well, I mean, Jamaica is a very small place.
Yeah.
Your uptown is even smaller. Like my dad wouldn't let me walk on the road.
Yeah.
I remember one time when I was 13 taking a taxi from Manor Park Square to my brother's house in Norbrook. We just didn't want to walk. It was like 30 seconds. Honestly, the walk is 4 minutes.
Yeah.
A 4-minute walk. I did it the other day to prove it to myself.
Yeah.
The taxi would have been 30 seconds. I get in the taxi outside a discount, and as soon as the taxi door closes, my phone starts ringing. I think, what the fuck?
Why is your phone? Who's your... Yeah.
Pick up the phone, and all I hear is, get the fuck out of the car. Where do you think you're going? I wasn't in the car for 30 seconds.
Yeah. No, I had seeing you, And I feel like that's the thing, right? Because, for example, I remember when I was young, I tried to take the bus one time because, like, all of my friends, and then I went to Meadowbrook. So I'm not really there, like, a bag of uptown people or whatever. So I went to Meadowbrook. So, naturally you want to share in those experiences with your schoolmates. Yeah. And I remember, like, trying to take a bus, and my father was like, he was so mad. Like, I actually did it because I was just wanted the experience. He's like, and he was so upset because he's like, them can take you away, like all of these things. So he was very, very upset.
At my first ever job when I was 17, still like a work experience kind of job, but I would work there in the summer. I was working for Grace Kennedy. And basically I worked as like a sales manager. So we would go to the different stores and collect money and blah, blah, blah. And I was a big kid from 17. So I thought that was an actual,
full on, like adult workout,
And I wasn't even 17, I was 16. I didn't have a car at the time. So I remember we went to Stony Hill Square one time to load a supermarket. And I had to rush back to town car. I had to play polo. And my driver was busy and my dad was busy and nobody could come for me. Yeah. And I remember saying to the guy, he was like, yo, you take the bus down, the bus, I go to Manor Park right now. And I said, I kind of gave him a look and decided laughing at me, about 4 guys. And the shame. They were like, you never take bus, you can't take bus. Fuckers, I'm going to take this bus. I'm going to step on the bus now. Yeah. You know what I mean? Sit down on the bus now. The drive from Manor Park Square to Discount, 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
11 minutes.
Yeah.
This bus took me one song on my iPod, forget to to get the discount. I was not that I'm afraid that it's gonna happen to me. I can't take the bus driving
because it's a stop. Yeah.
Terrified.
Yeah.
You
So you didn't just drop into the horse thing. You actually went to school for it, all of that. So do you think that because you come from like a more affluent background that people disregard your achievements, or do you understand the perspective?
If people were to say, I'm father picnic, or if family do that, I can understand to an extent why they would have that reasoning. But my family, I mean, God bless them, I love my family, but they didn't really give me horses to train.
Yeah.
They didn't go around the farm. It was nothing like that.
Yeah.
I've worked overseas with racehorses. I worked with a very prominent trainer, Anthony Nunes, for many years as his assistant. Most of the time it was just me burning weed and looking at horses and petting them.
Yeah.
But I gave him at least a good 2 years of
work. Okay.
Big up, Baba. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
And he didn't. I love to say I got fired. I didn't get fired. I left because I was, trying to start this.
Okay.
Training for myself.
So for yourself. Okay.
But I've worked in the horse industry for maybe 8 years, and I have put in some time.
Yeah.
And how it worked was how I started. Really was I went overseas, worked for about 3-4 months.
Yeah.
Raised some money, came back, and I bought a horse. And my dad was like, "Fuck it, there's never be a horse trainer if you're just working for somebody and waiting for something to happen. You need to just do it."
Yeah.
So I bought my very first horse. A horse named Adwa. She was. I took a picture of her and sent it to one of my friends. And said, "Bro, this looks like a brown dog." Like, she wasn't the best.
She wasn't the best, but it was your first horse, so it's like a big thing.
And like, she had a problem where she had everybody thought she had a back problem. And when I watched her races, she was jumping out the gate. And horses with back problems, they don't do that.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's not her back. One day I come on the stable and she was like, she peed like when she was on the stable ground, and it was the most foul. It was like pus. It was like oil coming out. I was terrified when I called my dad freaking out, like, is the horse gonna die?
Yeah.
She basically had a kidney infection. And where their kidneys are is near their back. So people always thought she has a back problem.
Okay.
I treated her kidney infection and she ended up winning by 6 lengths. I made to this day I'm still spending Adwa's money. So somebody bought her. I think they're breeding her Adwa. Thank you. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
From that horse I ended up buying another one.
Horse.
Ran a second, ran a good third. Somebody saw me and was like, you know what? Yeah, they're good. Yeah. Here's $1 million, buy another horse. Bought the horse with that.
So they just gave you that money, or was it just like a?
Well,
was that loan, or was it like him giving you?
How it works in the horse racing industry is usually you buy a horse from their baby, from their yearling, which is 1 year old, and you train them into being a racehorse, where they start running at 2. But there's another way to buy horses, which is called claiming horses. Okay. And you can buy a horse for cash straight up from $180,000 to $250,000 to $400,000 to $550,000, $750,000 to $1 million. Yeah. So the guy was like, "Come in, you take $1 million and buy a horse." Bought a horse named Run With Me. Ended up winning a race with him as well.
Okay.
And from there, it's just transition to now I have 9.
Wow, 9 horses.
And I haven't really fast. I honestly can't afford it, but
yeah,
we'll do it.
You're doing it. So then, is it something? Because like I feel like is there any way that people can break into the horse industry? Like, or is there? Because you actually studied for it, all of that. Like, is there?
Yeah. Even the people I know that made their own way into it, they either had a ton of money to start with and they just bought their way.
It's an expensive thing. Okay.
Yeah, because the thing is that you need years of experience with the animal before you can really do anything. Even if you want to just be an owner, like people will steal your money because they sell you a dud horse. Like you won't know. You have to really know what you're doing. Okay. And a lot of the people, from the workers, the grooms, to the guys that lead the horses, to the jockeys, a lot of them, their brothers were jockeys, their uncles were. You know, everybody is connected from the lowest level of horse racing to the highest level. They all have some sort of connection to it outside of it. So I don't know how the fuck a random person
just gets into the industry.
Unless you have a ton of money and you want to lose it, I don't know how you can do it.
Yeah,
it's gonna be tough.
It's gonna be tough. Okay, well, just going back a little bit, right? Because to your content, because I feel like that's interesting with your professional life, but you also have your social media life. You're always in a woman problem. Why is that? What is happening? Like I feel like
a lot of it is for entertainment, but
okay,
you have to mix up the truth and make story. You know?
Okay.
I don't know.
So do you really
I
like?
just can't tame.
You just can't tame. So tell me now, like how many? Like have you? What's your longest serious relationship?
Wow. If I've even had a relationship.
Oh yeah, have you? Yeah.
Probably, I'd say maybe 4 or 5 months. And we had like a time
Months.
together.
Living
So,
together.
yeah.
Wow. Okay. Okay.
That
So
happened.
so you really like okay. So the things that so you're dating and going through all of these experiences and stories. Has a girl ever like reached out to you based on a something
On
you
TikTok.
posted and they're like, "Is me you're talking about?"
Twice. And honestly, I was like, yeah, it was
Yeah,
you.
you
But
yeah.
never call your name, man. But you know, really.
So were they upset?
No, her friend did say, is it me you're talking about? So she was pissed. She was very pissed.
Oh
The first
wow.
one, she didn't take it.
She didn't take it well.
Second
Okay.
one laughed, you know, and the
Eh.
third girl who you still haven't opened my DM, so
Okay. So you're still waiting on that DM.
we're gonna
DM
see
him
what she
back.
says. On the next podcast, maybe if she
Yeah.
responds by then.
All right. We'll see what she says. So I feel like you have like a very interesting take on things. So the last question I want to like put to you is that comparing like a normal life and then a very well, or have you based on what you experienced because you've only experienced a very affluent life, right, as you've described. But do you think that do you see like key differentiations and do you think that it will or do which way would you have preferred then? Are you appreciative of the way that you grew
Well,
up?
there's no way I would want to live broke. No. I mean, just the fact that like the things I've experienced in my life, you know, the stuff I've been able to do, and stuff. The
Yeah.
fact that I can go home and feel safe.
Yeah.
No,
You wouldn't
I'm
change
very
it, yeah.
grateful. No, I would not change anything. You know, yes, my family has had as much as we've had money and I've lived affluently, we've had financial struggles.
Yeah.
You know, I've had to, you know, get jobs. I've had to do certain things where maybe a random standard Uptown person wouldn't.
Yeah, yeah.
Hopefully one day I'll be able to reveal it in videos. But it's
Yeah.
coming, you know?
It's yeah.
Yeah. But having kind of experience not having money and experience having money. Go to school, I studied cyber technology right now. You know what I mean? My brethren that have the most money as youth are my cyber security and tech analyst.
That's
friends.
true. That's true.
I have a brethren that drive a Beamer from him at 22 from not Bitcoin but around Bitcoin, Bitcoin adjacent. You know?
Yeah.
That's
Cyber
really
tech, that type of thing.
Everything is in the phone, everything is with the computer, be it finance, education, health, everything is going, you know.
A certain direction.
Even if you're a lawyer right now and you have certain technical skills like that, ChatGPT did it for your brethren. You know what I mean? The man that make ChatGPT, make all a lawyer brethren turn on a cyber security person or a cyber whatever the fuck.
Yeah.
You can go take where everybody work.
Yeah.
Everybody, because you can they can pay him way less versus having 10 lawyers when you have one software that can do it. Go to school. Yeah.
That's interesting because I feel like I've never heard you promote school, so that's actually interesting for you to say that you're bridging them, you know.
Yes.
Most of your richer bridging them is school them thing really.
Unfortunately, it's who you know which dictates where you are at your current level, but it's what you know will elevate that, and you have to also network and think. But my rich brethren, them who work for them family company and blah blah blah, them don't have money like my brethren that actually work for it. You're living on a leash as a child of money. Yeah. And your leash only expands as far as your parents or your family is willing to support you. And so a lot of them, they're not able to do certain things with their life. They're not able to make certain decisions because if they don't follow to their daddy's expectations or their grandfather's expectations or their mother's expectations, all of their what they have will be
benefits will be taken away. Yeah. Okay, fair.
So some people don't have that. They may not be limited financially in what they can do, but there is
a limitation in terms of the expectation and the freedom to do what you want.
If I've gotten any backlash in Uptown, I actually haven't.
Oh, that's good.
Everybody, even at the where I go to worship, you know, those people have sent my videos and said, "Wow, that's very funny."
Oh wow, yeah.
No, I haven't gotten any backlash yet, but it's gonna happen. I know my grandma is not gonna like it if she sees the videos. I really hope she doesn't see that. But
interesting. Well, is there anything else before we go that you'd like to say to people?
If there's one message I could leave for the audience, Jamaica, the masses, the world, just do you. Be yourself, because I never once thought that I would be even getting interviewed about videos. I mean, what the fuck? So All
Yeah.
of it, every day, I just take up my phone and I try and record for at least 3 minutes of me just chatting shit. I really do. I don't plan this. I don't sit down and say, what should I say? I just do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people are held back in life because they see the pros and cons, they see what they can and can't do, they think of their own set limitations without actually trying to do it or trying to do something different.
Yeah.
So just do it.
Yeah.
Ganja class.
Thank you so much. And that was another episode of the Good Girl Podcast. So we will see you next week. Bye.